This is the story of how I caused a production incident at work. At our company, we have a giant monolith alongside multiple microservices. Our team manages one of these services. One day, we got paged. The CPU usage on our production database has spiked over 85%. For context, it's usually around 15%. Clearly, something was wrong. We jumped into action. After investigating, we discovered that several expensive queries were running, processing massive amounts of data. Terminating those queries brought the CPU usage back to normal. But that left us with a big question. What triggered those queries in the first place? After digging deeper, I found that an API endpoint was responsible for the queries. And here's the kicker. It was the same endpoint I had been testing earlier, but on the test environment. That's when the pieces of the puzzle started falling into place. How it happened? I had been working on a script to address some data quality issues. You see, part of our business logic and data resides in the monolith, and sometimes the data doesn't sync correctly with our service. That causes significant headaches. My script was supposed to identify customers with these data quality issues by checking whether they could reach our service and if we could save their data. It would loop through all the customer accounts in the region, calling our service API endpoint. This endpoint should return an empty array if called without any query parameters. Simple enough, right? I tested it on the test environment, which closely mirrors production, and thought everything was fine. Except it wasn't. The API endpoint wasn't behaving as expected. In some cases, it executed expensive recursive queries, and here's when things got even messier. The customer accounts had a domain field that pointed to our service in production, even in the test environment. I should have used the test domain field, but I didn't. As a result, my test script ended up calling production endpoints from the test environment. Looking back, I made several mistakes. First, I trusted the test environment too much. I should have verified that the domain configurations were correct before running the script. I underestimated the quirks of a legacy service. As a new team owning this service, we are still uncovering hidden surprises in how it operates. During our post-incident retrospective, we agreed on several actions. We disabled cross-environmental calls entirely as a safeguard. We built a dedicated endpoint for data quality checks to avoid using production API inappropriately. We are also planning to refactor those recursive SQL queries to make them more efficient, but that's the story for another time. Fortunately, there was no customer impact from this incident since we terminated those queries quickly, but it was a valuable learning experience for all of us. Incidents like this remind us that working with legacy systems can be tricky. As engineers, we are not just building new features, we are also detectives, uncovering caveats and designing better safeguards. I hope you found this story insightful. If you did, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.